I'm Holden Douglas here at Crypto.com Arena, where the Kings come back from a 2-goal deficit to defeat the Stars 3-2. Let's hear what Joel Edmondson and Tanner Jeannot had to say about the victory.
Tanner, you guys are down 2-0 after the first. I mean, what changed for you guys that allowed you to come back the way you did in the second?
Yeah, they came out pretty hot. They pretty much dominated us that first period there, so we needed to have a response. And guys came back in the room and regrouped and came out with a better second, and we were able to get the job done in the third, so it's a good game.
We talked this morning about the way that you guys like to lead the way on the forecheck. Both your goals kind of come off of that chaos in the ozone. Happy to get rewarded in that way.
Yeah, it's always nice to get rewarded. Just comes from hard work, so you just got to keep working hard, and hopefully they go in. Tonight we were fortunate to have that happen.
Fogue seems to be a definition of hard work. I mean, how easy is it to play with a guy like that who's just busting around with you?
Yeah, exactly. Both those guys, they're both really fast. They both work really hard and turn pucks over and have the puck on your stick more often than not. So, it's really fun playing with them.
Tanner, you mentioned it, about the first period whatsoever. Does this team have a response gene within it? It seems you guys have a rough game. You immediately respond with a good performance. Tonight it's a period. You respond. Is there that kind of response gene within this group, and what's behind it?
Yeah, well, I mean, we came into our building and they kind of worked us in the first period there, and I don't think any team wants that to happen. So, like I said, we regrouped and came out in the second and had a better second there and continued on into the third.
Is it a pride thing? Or
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's your home crowd. You don't want to come in here and be embarrassed. So you just want to go out there and get a response to that.
Tanner, sometimes coming into a new team, it can be tough to kind of find chemistry with the line, just kind of find out where you fit. You look really good next to Warren and Q there. Does this feel like the most comfortable you've been on a line so far in LA?
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, they're really easy to play with. They work really hard, and you have the puck on your stick a lot. So, as far as line combination, I've been, playing with different players. Everyone's been really good, and I'm just trying to do my thing and help the team as much as I can with whoever I'm with.
What changed when you're down 2-0 early and then you come back and you don't let them score again?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I think we just came in here and we knew we needed to have a response. They were really hard on the forecheck. We needed to make some better plays coming out of our end and supporting each other, talking more, and I think we did a better job in that. In the second, we got in on the forecheck and turned the pucks over in their end and got to the net, and fortunate to have some going.
Tanner, Pete DeBoer was interesting. He was on with Jack Redmond during the first period, and he said you guys looked like a team that was off for a couple of days. They had some fresher legs, and he's like, I know they're going to make a push. Did you kind of get the sense did you feel a little rusty early on?
Well, I mean, yeah, there's no excuses in this league. It's the best league in the world, and so there's no excuses for that. We just came out a little bit flat, and but we came in and we got an answer to it. Yeah.
Tanner, that Dallas team has really kind of been a tough game for this Kings team. They kind of got smoked by them last year. But you're a new guy on the team. Is that something you guys talk about? Is that something you can feel coming into this game, that this is a team that you guys have struggled against, that you really need to have a big response against?
Yeah, it was mentioned, but I think every game is the same. You want to come out and you want to make a statement to yourselves, us in here, and prove that we're a team that can compete with the best in the league. So barring that first period, I think we did that tonight.
And is that the kind of game against a really big physical Dallas team that you especially kind of relish in, because that's the kind of game you like to play?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're a big team, always been a physical team, and I like those games. That's, like you said, that's kind of where I flourish. So try to get in on the forecheck and try to swing that in my team's favor. Cool.
Thanks, Tanner.
Yep.
Tanner, go ahead.
Well, how would you explain the difference in performance between the first 20 and the last 40?
Night and day. Took us a while to find our legs. Obviously, we had a few days off there, which was nice to rest the bodies. But we had a little wake-up call in between the first and second, and still wasn't our best game, but we found a way.
It's exactly what Pete DeBoer was saying that on TNT. He was interviewed by Jack Redmond. He was waiting for you guys. He said you guys looked like the team was a little rusty. They didn't have their legs. They had their legs. A little fresher in playing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think since camp we've been on the go, and then the past few days it's kind of been relaxing. Which it's big in the long run, but that next game it can be tough. But like I said, we found a way. They played 3 games in 4 nights, so they're obviously feeling good. But yeah, I mean, we had some guys step up, and it was huge.
To get a multi-goal comeback win like that against a team like Dallas, is that a statement-type win for this group?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously want to play a lot better than the way we did, but we'll take the 2 points, and we know if we get up, we can shut the door. And a lot of that goes to Big Dave back there. He played a great game.
How does it feel to be the leading goal scorer among defensemen over there?
It feels good, I guess. I mean,
Should Drew worry when he comes back?
what's that?
Should Drew worry when he comes back?
Not a chance. Absolutely not.
Guys like Janelle and Fogel, they came out with you in the offseason, and they seem to be really buzzing out there today. What's it like when those guys just kind of get going in the offensive zone? Seems like you played really well.
Yeah, they're just hard workers, and you know the way the game was going is going to be a couple of greasy goals, and they're just around the net. That's their game, and you know nothing too flashy. Just they work their ass off every shift, and every team needs guys like that. And you know sometimes they come up clutch, and we needed them.
Comeback wins not easy. Tell me about how thrilling this one was to be able to rally back the way you did.
Yeah, it was huge. You know, I think after we got the first one, we got the crowd back into it, and it gave us a little life, and we just kind of rode that wave. Obviously, they had a lot of chances. We still didn't play our best, but as long as we get the 2 points, that's all we're worried about.
We saw a lot of the 7 defensemen set up last year down the stretch. This is the first time we've seen it this year. What kind of challenges maybe does that present for you, or do you like going 7 defensemen, or does it change your game at all?
I don't think it's a challenge for us defensemen at all. It's more the D coach. He's got one more guy to worry about, so for us, it's no issue.
Your big hard shot from the point, is that come natural to you, or did you learn how to hit it like that?
Yeah, I've always been a guy that kind of had a bomb. Just being a young kid, I don't know if it's the baseball. I used to be a baseball player, but just that motion. Yeah, I was always able to step into one.
Kind of reminds me of Al McGinnis. He had a really hard shot from the point.
Not even close to Al, no, but I appreciate that.
Joel, Tanner just mentioned it about, he said that the struggles against Dallas were mentioned before the game. I know you weren't around for that whatsoever, but how much do you feed off of that, and you know, in the process of turning this game around, what kind of statement does it say to yourselves?
Yeah, I mean,
against that team.
For guys like us, we weren't here, but you know, all of our brothers were in that game, and you know, we just wanted to showcase that we can compete with them. I think we did that in the second half, but it's just a nice reminder that that they're a good team over there, and we got to bring our A game.
Joe, a lot of the talk this summer was about you coming in being a stay-at-home guy for Brant, kind of being his safety valve, even at the beginning of the season, but you're outpacing for goals pretty heavy here. Are you telling him he's got to keep up, or what's that conversation about?
No. I'm just finding a way right now. I think it's a lot of credit to the forwards getting to the net. I'm not scoring any of those from the point without a screen. So, no, Clark is just keep doing what he's doing.
How much have the conversations with him changed, though? Because back in camp, you were talking about, you were excited to play with him and what your role was going to be versus him. 25-plus games in now. How have the conversations changed?
Not much. I mean, we're still the same players. He's offensive. I'm more back there. So I tell him, if you see a gap, take it. I'll cover you. And I think just the conversation is just figuring out the D zone, just little things. And I don't think that's ever going to stop.
Thanks, Joel.
Thanks, guys.
Jim next door.
Not only do we get to hear from the players, but Coach Jim Hiller also spoke to us after the game.
It wasn't a good first period. What changed? What was the turning point to get them?
I think we had to gather ourselves a little bit. We had to, or the players had to find out how hard they were willing to compete the rest of the way. We hadn't seen that team yet this year, and they came as advertised. We know them. Penalty early didn't help, right? And we did not a bad job on the kill, and we made a mistake, and they scored late. So we were on our heels. I think we got more competitive.
In a certain way, is this game more satisfying, if you will, than the Winnipeg game, where maybe you were expecting a big reaction coming out of the San Jose game, and then, like you said, slow start and then big finish?
I don't think so. I think the Winnipeg game was we just played so well that game start to finish. I don't think we played so well tonight, not even just the first period. Our goalie played extremely well tonight. You know, they missed a few chances. I don't know how many posts they had. I mean, we had a couple on our end too. Well, the takeaway for us on this is just we dug in and competed, and we got rewarded for competing. Not necessarily for how well we played, but how hard we competed the last 40 minutes.
All those words you use seem to describe Tanner Jeannot very well. I asked you about him this morning, but good to see him again be kind of the straw that stirs the drink to get it going.
Yeah, big goal when we needed that. He also had some good hits on the forecheck. We saw that too. But yeah, I mean, that's a big, strong, talented team, and you know, he's the kind of a guy that in those games you need to step up. You've got a special presence to you. That has to be exposed in a game like that. And I thought he did that. Obviously, the goal. I think he had an assist too, didn't he? Somewhere around there. Yeah.
We just talked to Tanner about wanting his line to set the tone on the forecheck, and it seemed like they were great on that end. I mean, they really kind of dragged you guys into that game in the second. How important was it to get that line just setting that tone for you? Yeah,
I mean, that should be the strength of that line for sure. They're all big, they're all strong. Q and Fogs are extremely fast. So we needed that from somebody. We weren't getting that. We hadn't established anything in the O-zone before they got that going in the second period. Then we had some consecutive shifts, but we needed that goal. Obviously, you know, as much as the game-winning goal, I thought that goal was probably the biggest goal of the night. Just kind of get us back and get us a bit of a reward for coming out strong in the second.
Jim, you talked before about what you like about 11-7, but why tonight instead of against Anaheim or next Saturday? Why tonight?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think the schedule helps us a little bit because we had a couple days off, practice. Now we don't play again till Saturday, so I think that is a benefit. I've been talking about it with the coaches for a while. I want to get to this. We just didn't feel it was the right time. Just felt like tonight was.
I got a little more on Rittich. He's won some games here in recent days. How well he's?
Oh, he played really good tonight. I don't know that he played a better game than he did tonight that I can remember this season. I thought that was his best. We needed it. So yeah, he's just done a great job while Kemps has been out, carrying the load because he's played all but one, right? I mean, Ports gave us that one really good game. That's a lot of pucks, a lot of stress for the goaltender. He did a great job, especially tonight.
Jim, after that first period, and it's not going your way, who steps up and speaks, gets the team going?
I don't know. I mean, again, you'd have to ask those guys. I say my piece. I leave the room. They're clearly somebody in there takes charge. I don't know if it's always the same person, but somebody certainly took charge.
Because it was interesting. I was mentioning a couple of guys. Pete DeBoer, in his interview on TNT, said he was expecting a push from you guys. You guys seemed a little flat that first period. He was concerned that you guys were going to do what you did. Could you see that things were just a little sluggish?
Well, we never got, season ticket holder we talked to the other day. I'm getting confused again. Where's Josh? Sometimes we were on our heels, and sometimes, unfortunately, it takes getting out of the period, getting to the dressing room, and then being able to re-engage yourselves and taking a breath and getting it back going again. So we weren't able to flip it during the period, but maybe that's what he was talking about. By the time we got out of the 2-0, probably could have been worse, still gave ourselves a chance to gather ourselves and come back with a push.
Jim, isn't the measure of a good team winning when you don't play your best?
That's an important one, for sure. And I think, I said this to the team, that the Anaheim game, as much as we got outplayed, we still had to go out there and win the third period. And we did that. So that was the job. The Ottawa game, which was a tough game, I think it was 2-2 after 2, right? We had to go out and win the period. And so I've been on plenty of teams and had plenty of nights where you go out and lose. You play well and you lose. In the end, you got to find a way to win, and I thought that's what we've done here probably the last 3 games, is found a way to win in the third. And you don't just get lucky. You got to earn it. If you're not working, you're not going to win, trust me. So you go out there and work, you get some bounces, you score a big goal, and it happens to go your way. But it's the commitment that you make. Generally, you earn your own luck there.
Back to the 11-7. What's the message to Andre? What does he have to do to get back in the lineup? Especially coming off what was a pretty good performance of the team.
Yeah, no, he played good. You saw against Anaheim, at least I had him out there, the last couple minutes of the game. So yeah, he played good. So it's not necessarily a thing that he has to do. It's just there's other things that go into the decision as well. But I wouldn't look at somebody not playing well for the reason for us to go 11-7. Cal Burrows hadn't played in forever. We wanted to get him in. You know, the Spence and Mavari have been playing good together. Didn't want to take one of them out to get Burr in. You know, so there's lots of different things that pile on top of each other to come to that decision.
Is flipping it in game against that team, the team that you guys have struggled with, different than flipping it in game against the lower tier club?
It is. I don't know that we flipped it. I don't know that we flipped the game. We flipped our game. We started getting more competitive, but I mean, let's be honest, they still took it to us. So that's just the quality of their team. That's a good team. That's, you know, we felt like probably that was our hardest game of the year, the one that we felt, you know, most overwhelmed at times. It's a good team.
Jim, early in the season, you said you wanted to ask Mikey to take his game to the next level. Are you seeing that kind of transpire lately?
Yeah, I mean, I'd throw it back at you guys. I've certainly seen it. I've seen it in a number of different ways. The consistency, the physicality. I think Mikey's got a little swagger that he never had, realizing the level that he's playing at for as long as he had, that he does have that in him. So I think that's helped him. But no, for me, I've just been very, very impressed with his game. He's given us what we asked.
Does part of that come from Drew not being there and him sort of being able to come out of Drew's shadow, if you will?
I don't know. Again, good question for him. But I think what happened, you know, we started the season and we kind of had even pairs, or say what you will, and there was no real matchup. And I don't think it went great for a lot of different guys. When we put him and Gabby together and gave him his job back, which his job with Drew was to be the shutdown defenseman, I thought that's when he started playing better. And now he's just, you know, built his game up from that point. And it's as good as he's played for me, as consistent as he's played.
Jim, going back to that line, focusing on Warren Fogle, he was all over the ice tonight. He was so good in all three zones, had the 2 points. And he was a signing that came in, not a lot of fanfare, not a huge name. He's been so good this season. How important has he been coming in and being so effective for you?
Yeah. I mean, we had a pretty good sense of his game, but I think he's given us more than maybe we would have even hoped for. Penalty killing has been really strong. His speed is the obvious, but he's been very competitive. He's got good hockey sense. So he's turned into one of our offensive threats, as we've seen, not just with the goals, but you know, he makes some pretty good passes too. So I think that, and he's evolved his game as his career's gone. You know, first you start on the fourth line. This is a lot of players, you know, we talk about Turk, you start on the fourth line, you earn a job in the NHL, and then you realize you got more skill, and you grow confident, you understand the game, and now we're seeing this. So I still think he's even got more to go, because he's never really been placed in you know, that much of an offensive role, or played as much as he has here. So I still think he's got room to grow.
And outside of the game tonight, it was announced earlier that Adrian Kempe made Team Sweden for the Four Nation face-off. Just how excited was everyone in the room for him? And he's maybe an underrated player around the league. Just give him a chance to really announce himself on the international stage. Yeah,
I haven't addressed that. You know, I meant to do that after the game. And not just him, Mike Buckley, our goalie coach, right? And Darren Granger, our trainer. So the three of them. The thing about Adrian is I'm not surprised. You know what I mean? I don't think it caught any of us off guard. So you know, we're excited for him, we're happy for him, but I think we all felt like he's a player that's going to go help Sweden and be in that tournament. So it's probably a little anticlimactic, I think, for me, just because I expected it.
Have you had a chance to console Drew, though? Because him not making Team Canada would be...
Yeah, I mean, that's a difficult one. I'm sure had Drew been healthy and playing, you know, I don't make the decisions, but he would have been a hard guy to keep off that team, let's put it that way. But it's, you know, it's pretty tough when he hasn't played and there's no guarantee what date he will come back.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks.
After defeating the Stars, the Kings have won 4 straight games, but their biggest test will be up against the Wild this Saturday. Can the Kings defeat the team with the best record in the NHL? We'll find out. I'm Holden Douglas with Infanity TV, reporting from Crypto.com Arena.